Welcome back into European Masters. We're getting right into Champions. Like, it's going to be GamerLegion up against GamersOrigin, and I will probably accidentally switch that S back and forth a couple times. It's just bound to happen.
Okay, now looking at the immediate jumps in, though. Good targeted bans on the side of GamerLegion, looking to get rid of some of bluezor's more comfortable champions, Kai'Sa being the most played in the regular split.
Exactly, and he's 5-1 on that in the regular split as well over in the LFL. So I'm not too surprised to see that. I wonder if they're going to continue these jungle bans. There's the Jarvan, there's Trundle that has been dominating European Masters and 10.7. I'm not too surprised to see that. But what I'm kind of looking at right now is if GamerLegion do ban Lee Sin, no, they go for Kai'Sa. GamersOrigin, are you going to ban the Heimerdinger, or are you going to leave that open for your Hjarnan?
Yeah, or do you leave them Senna if you ban the Heimerdinger?
You gotta leave
as well?
one of them.
This is dangerous.
Oh, but they don't take either. They ban the Varus. Do we see the immediate lock-in of Heimerdinger for Hjarnan? Oh, come on, do it.
I think they're pretty happy if they go. Okay.
I knew it.
They go for the Heimerdinger. I was leaning towards the Senna, but also Heimerdinger has been banned in every game, and Hjarnan, as has been talked about a lot, has a world-class Heimerdinger. Being banned in Worlds, it probably should be banned in European Masters.
So here's my favorite stat of Hjarnan's Heimerdinger. He's played 20 games of this in his career. He is 17-3 on the champion. A career KDA on this one champion alone of 10.72. This is incredible for GamerLegion, that the fact they were given this. They could have banned that. Of course, it might just be the trade for Senna in that bot lane, or they go for Syndra bot lane for XD SMILEY. He has played that in that bot lane.
Yeah, I think they don't want to lock immediately with the Senna as well. You don't want to just give up the fact that you're going to be flexing that Syndra.
Right.
So hold on to that for a little bit, lock the Syndra, and then see how you're feeling. I think real need to give that away.
So they lock in Thresh here. GamerLegion locks in Thresh here. Visdom has played so much Thresh this year, not to mention during European Masters, Thresh, Heimerdinger are the two top bans against GamerLegion this entire time, but they go for Irelia Taric. Whoa!
Okay. I like the Irelia with the Heimerdinger. That's a massive area of zone to control in a team fight. Your team fight's already looking ridiculous. On top of that, you add Taric. This is getting dangerous. I would have expected the Syndra to be going bot lane. I think it's a specific counter to the Heimerdinger because you can pick up the turrets. That's my expectation.
That's what I think too.
But I'm wondering what they kind of round this out with now that you know what probably is the mid laner.
Galio going to be locked in, but toucouille, that could possibly be a mid lane pick, or it could be flex. There's so much flex potential here. Looking at both sides, the only ones we expect are going to be Heimerdinger, Taric, bot lane. Hjarnan and Visdom are going to play those. Aurelia, we're not sure if it's going to be Nite or Phones. I'd expect it to be Phones. But then on the other side, GamersOrigin are like, Syndra, is that going to be for XD SMILEY? toucouille? You're not sure. Galio, HustlinbeasT, if that toucouille, Shemek. Even Ornn could go for bluezor.
Yeah. There's a lot of standards you kind of expect. The one thing that's interesting is neither team have locked a jungler. I was expecting maybe a Gragas lock or a look towards some of the other big picks with the Lee Sin.
This could be big brain here, Ty. That could be the Taric jungle. We don't know.
This isn't some Zanzara Ornn jungle nonsense, okay? I believe that they're going standard. They're gonna stick to, and honestly, Ornn is a lot less broken than he was then. Still extremely good, of course.
Seeing as Olaf and Gragas have now been banned,
it's got to be the Lee. The Lee that bluezor is looking for. Do you ban it away here?
They don't do it. Are they trying to force the Syndra into the bot lane?
It looks like it. They're trying to get rid of some of the bot laners they really hate having to deal with. It's interesting. I think maybe they think it's less of a flex than we do. I think it's almost certainly going over to toucouille. I'm still expecting the Galio support. I think that makes more sense here. And the Lee Sin to be locked in.
That's what I would expect.
Also tracks.
So pretty much, the Lee Sin should be locked in for bluezor. That's his second most played. Well, actually tied with Kai'Sa. He's played it just as many times as Kai'Sa, so it is locked in. But looking at that Galio, HustlinbeasT has played 2 games of Galio support over there in the LFL. So that could be what they go for, and it wouldn't actually be too terrible into Heimerdinger. The fact that he is an anti-mage. He gets the magic shield. He's good at taunting, so Heimerdinger, who's very immobile, he runs at you, and he's going to be able to taunt you pretty easily.
Now you are pretty much out of junglers, so Sejuani, the one main meta jungler that is left. I think bluezor is happy with that though, getting the lead into Sejuani means you can play a little bit further forward. I think that's what they were expecting with the amount of jungle bans they threw down. The other side though, this is where it gets more interesting. That's very interesting immediately with the Yasuo lock-in.
I'm interested with the Yasuo lock-in, mostly because Yasuo does very well with like Gragas. Everyone talks about the Yasuo Gragas comp where you're able to get that knock-up pretty easily. He can follow it up with Last Breath. The only one who really has a knock-up here on the team is going to be Sejuani, and that's not really what Sejuani is known for doing. It's an interesting pick here. Nite does tend to like to play more of these AD style. Nocturne mid was one of his favorites during the season. So it fits into the wheelhouse of how Nite plays with phones going on to Irelia. But on the flip side, SMILEY going for Kai'Sa, and the Syndra is going to be for toucouille.
I think at this point a lot of it comes down to SMILEY tends to lean heavily towards AD carries. They just assumed even though Syndra is quite easy to play as a mage in the bot lane, and it might be something you'd want to pick into the Heimerdinger, they go, honestly, we don't believe you're going to change up your playstyle that much. We're going to stick to this. We're going to presume that that is a mid lane Syndra, and they're completely correct too. The Yasuo specifically being picked as a counter to Syndra as well, because you can wind wall that ultimate. So I think GamerLegion knew exactly what to expect from GamersOrigin and responded perfectly.
The only thing for me is I'm looking at this. It's a Kai'Sa into a Heimerdinger Taric lane. They not only are they safe, but they're gonna constantly shove into you. They're gonna constantly try to see if they can bully you. Kai'Sa for a long time was paired up with Nautilus because you could have that level 2 power spike. You could try to go all in. Galio, it's a lot more difficult to be able to do that. You have a more difficult time pushing in, getting the taunt that you want to land, that Kai'Sa can then follow it up with the Cathian Rain. That just doesn't seem like it's going to happen, and I feel like GamersOrigin played into the hand of GamerLegion.
This has already been an extremely impressive draft to start us off. Really looking forward to seeing how we continue here, because you can see even the observers were confused. No one has any clue where anyone's going.
Wait a minute. Did they even flex further? Is that Hjarnan going top lane?
It is.
Yeah, he's got...
This is how they're moving all the lanes around.
Yeah, look...
No wonder the observer's confused. Yeah. I think GamersOrigin are about to even further bamboozled.
I am baffled right now. We gotta see what's going to happen right here. So, what I'm assuming is Hjarnan is trying to play into the top lane into Ornn, so that way they can get this early lead and allow phones on Irelia Taric, which is easier for this Irelia to get the stun onto Kai'Sa, and Galio can't really deal with an Irelia too well, so GamerLegion, what?
I love it. I am so down for this.
Same.
You've won my respect. Now, let's look at the other side. You have the triple exhaust versus triple TP as well. The double exhaust bot lane is interesting. I think that leads me to believe, and I think based on the lane, you'd believe it anyway, they're going to go heavy engage, as you said, using the Irelia to jump forward with those stuns. Follow up with a stun of yourself. Very quickly kind of lock people down. And with the attack speed passive, the attack speed you get from your passive as the Irelia, you can just shred through the Kai'Sa or even the Galio to an extent.
So, we're continuing the galaxy brain in this. So, I saw that the observers had put Ornn mid and toucouille was top lane, and I'm like, okay, they're assuming that that's going to happen, but I don't know if that's going to happen. GamersOrigin were perfect on that play. They had held on to both Shemek and toucouille in that bush right behind Red Buff, waiting to see who was going to first poke their head out in mid lane. Since Nite showed up, they swapped it. Shemek went mid, tossed toucouille into the top lane, had that Syndra go up against the Heimerdinger. The counter is there for GamersOrigin. They did it! They got the mind game, and now they get a double taunt in the bot lane, forcing GamerLegion back.
Yeah, and it's much more comfortable for Ornn to face a Yasuo, and we talked about how the Syndra is looking to face off against the Heimerdinger, can pick up the turrets, can kind of push back against the heavy pushing that Heimerdinger usually looks for in these lanes. So definitely think that it was GamersOrigin trying to respond with some mind games of their own, as you said. Well, really, how effective will it be when you're coming up against someone who's just so damn good at this weird as hell champion?
And that's something I want to talk about, is that GamerLegion are a team that have had amazing drafts. I have so much respect for them, but GamersOrigin are a team that while their drafts have been good, they've been decent, they're just a team that understands how to play into their opponents. They learn and they adapt really quickly. They're not about getting these early kills. They're about the macro of the game. They're about getting objectives. They're about trying to see if they can win out lanes like bot lane. They're able to shove in with XD and HustlinbeasT so they have control around that dragon. And top lane, toucouille is able to get so much damage on Hjarnan having corrupting pots that's allowing bluezor to do whatever he wants.
Here now, it looks like his opening is to push for Hjarnan. Hjarnan's already gone rather low. Toucouille's a little low on mana, but bluezor should be able to get in here and almost solo the Heimerdinger himself at this stage. It's all about how the flash plays, though.
Looking to see if they can get it. He does flash a bit too early. Scatter the Weak connects. Followed up. First blood, bluezor, making sure that it all looks too clean.
Nicely done there. I think Syndra as well, also having chunked out the Heimerdinger early. This is playing towards your strength. bluezor very comfortable on this Lee Sin. Good champion for snowballing. On top of the fact you've got this counter pick Syndra up against the Heimerdinger.
And now, if I'm bluezor, you know where I'm going? I went to the store. I went and bought a tent. I got myself a nice fire. I got some kindling. I'm just going top lane over and over and over again. And that is all I'm going to do, is try to camp Hjarnan, make it so he gets his 4th ever loss on this champion. Because they can. Heimerdinger, he already used TP to get back into the top lane. It's forced Rabble to now have to play topside. They saw him on not only the Skull Crab, but there's still that ward over there by the turret that Hjarnan hasn't cleared out either. But maybe, just maybe, they're going to be able to get this dive onto toucouille. toucouille is playing this one smart, trying to wait it out. Good damage comes in. Good knockback, too little, too late. Rabble has to flash to be able to survive.
Very comfortable. I think, okay, anything you can do, we can do better. But as we say that, it looks like bluezor looking to mimic that play as they head into the bot lane. Here comes Visdom to help out phones.
Gonna make it so they can easily get the dazzle if they wanted to connect. Looking to get it onto XD. Flashing away. Visdom still alive. Gets the heals onto phones. Still trying to see what they can get with the Cathian Rain, but they haven't got the kills just yet. The minions are gonna go down very quickly. 2 phones. Stun doubled up. Getting XD so low. Phones wants to be able to pick up the kills, but he just can't. With 3 members there, he's too afraid, despite the fact that they're so low, to actually go for the engage.
And you can see GamersOrigin not worried about overcommitting for this play, knowing that the Sejuani was just in the top lane. They do manage to now swap it around, but we'll have a look at this again. This was well played from both sides, relatively, but it was still the smarter move from GamersOrigin to go for this play in the first place. Knowing the Sejuani's top side, you'll always have the numbers advantage, so they hold on surprisingly well. You can see the whole time Taric's making sure to proc those autos. Keep that Q cooldown as low as possible so you can keep spamming those heals. It was a good stun as well facing into the Galio E, but because Phones was focusing down XD SMILEY, who hadn't taken turret aggro, there was not a whole lot they could do there.
The juggling of that aggro from bluezor, HustlinbeasT, XD SMILEY, to me shows that they have amazing communication. They were talking perfectly through that, and like you said, Phones not targeting onto HustlinbeasT, just, it, to me, gives me this indication of why we've been looking at GamersOrigin as being this strong team. Why they were able to win the LFL in the first place is they were able to win these macro games, win these great calls, objectives, find little picks here and there. And right now, GamerLegion, despite the fact that it's not that big of a gold lead, don't seem like they have that much control of the map.
I think it is worth noting, though, that it is still very narrow. No major advantages have been gotten either side. Still all to play for, and you can see that they're trying to get back to the lanes that they'd intended. GamersLegion, Hjarnan wants to match up into the Ornn, but you see immediately it was swapped back again. Hjarnan's in the mid lane, so is Syndra.
Always make sure toucouille is following Hjarnan no matter where he travels on this rift. Say, wherever you will go, I will go. I can do better than you, but XD SMILEY forced to use Killer Instinct in that bot lane. Vanguard's Edge comes out. We'll be able to get the stun on HustlinbeasT. Good taunt comes in. Rabble, a little bit too late to go for that fight. It's going to be able to force the TP coming in from Shemek. They're gonna try to see if they can run from the hills. Here comes the Ornn Horn, looking for the knockup. Gonna be able to get onto Phones, it's pretty low, but no Killer Instinct. Great triple taunt! That's what gets it for the side of GamersOrigin. They pick up that 1 kill, but that wins them out this bottom lane control.
Yeah, it looks like Shemek's TPing in far too late, but because you have Ornn, it doesn't matter where you are, you're gonna be able to ult down. Well played, and another great map movement for GamersOrigin.
This is what we'd expect out of them, constantly playing around the map. They are getting kills, but they're also getting stuff out of it. Getting vision, getting dragons like they're getting right now. Going to be that ocean dragon into their pockets and letting it so that they aren't going to have to worry about Hjarnan getting scary, pushing in these waves. We got to take a look at that. And honestly, I got to give a lot of credit to ADC SMILEY for baiting them into this, saying, we have this advantage still.
You see, it's that, but it's also HustlinbeasT getting back into the play, avoiding the heavy engage from phones. As the ult arrives, so does HustlinbeasT. So then they make the call, make the TP, I can re-engage this, jumps forward. Yes, he gets stunned by phones, who plays it well, but the fully charged taunt, it's not possible to flash out of at that angle. HustlinbeasT makes the engage happen.
3-man taunt from HustlinbeasT too. We've seen 2, we've seen 3, I'm waiting for 4, and then 5 out of this Galio. Showing us pretty much why they felt confident going for this Kai'Sa Galio lane. I was questioning it myself at first, saying, I'm not so sure I'm sold on it. Looking at how things are going in not only that lane, but other lanes, you can see there's more swaps happening. Phones still trying to fight, but this time it's going to be against Shemek. No longer going to be that 2v2 with an Irelia Taric saying, alright, that didn't work out. Instead, we're going to try to have you against Ornn while we send our bottom lane to the top side of the map to try to secure this Rift Herald.
Looks like GamersLegion are happy to maybe take a fight here, looking to play forward onto the Herald. They're going to start backing off as more and more numbers from GamersOrigin come in.
Smart done from GamerLegion, pretty much baiting in GamersOrigin. Not actually looking for the fight. It was one of those things where you're trying to see if you can bait the objective. They're like, oh, yeah, we're totally taking the Rift Herald. Really, you wanted to get them away from certain objectives, like in the bot lane, get attention off of phone so he can farm up a little bit better, keep up with Shemek. But also, you want to make sure that you're starting to get vision back. You're slowly working some control back around the river.
Looks like we're coming back to maybe the originally drafted lanes now that Irelia is matched up against the Ornn. You have Hjarnan joining Visdom as some form of bot lane. They're actually in the top lane, of course. And now you have, as well, split off your kind of mid laner.
Okay, I'm loving this from GamersOrigin. It's the Goon Squad. It's HustlinbeasT, bluezor, and ADC SMILEY. They're the goons walking around Summoner's Rift, looking to pick a fight, looking for some skirmishes here and there.
What exactly constitutes a goon, Magical?
What constitutes a goon? I'm trying to think what would constitute. I'd say it's pretty much someone who's constantly wanting to punch someone for no reason and just look like they don't care what the reason's for. They're just gonna punch you and then walk away. Like they're threatening you constantly. That's pretty much what I'd say a goon is.
Yeah, that wasn't very threatening. That's no goon play.
No. It was a goon play from bluezor. It was
yeah,
a yikes from Rabble.
Fair. You can see again pushing forward here for GamersLegion. At the end of the day, it was GamersOrigin still coming out on top, though. They're the ones who pick up the Herald. They're the ones who managed to sneak it away with the Lee Sin, who we said, bluezor, one of the big champions that he plays because it gets a lot of early pressure, can make a lot of early aggressive plays, and especially with how strange and volatile these lanes have been, it's been Lee Sin who's been kind of the one focus going, okay, regardless of where everyone's going, I'm picking up on this matchup. I'm going to swap in here and there and see what I can find.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing, bluezor. He threw the Q at the wolves, missed it, gives the emotes, they're like, it's doomed, rip.
Oh, man.
He knew.
It happens.
ADC SMILEY's probably there and saying, dude, how'd you miss them? They don't even move.
Oh, man. I'm not much for emotes myself. I've never gotten used to them.
So,
I haven't managed to use them.
I like Karthus, the Karthus one, like, go get him. I love that one. That's one of my favorite ones. I also like
bluezor is actually calling the tombstone as he arrives, see if he can find a kill.
Is he looking for it? Not really, just gonna instead pop Shelly, be able to take a lot of the plates, give that gold over to ADC SMILEY. If Visdom and Bones hang around here for too long, though, they could easily go for this time. It's taken down to its final plate. They might be able to kill.
Here comes Hjarnan.
But look at this.
Here comes Rabble.
They're just waiting for the fight. Vanguard's Edge a little bit too late. Tower is going to fall. Bones, he was kept alive for so long, but now it's going to be the jumping coming in on bluezor getting that kill. HustlinbeasT going the wrong way from the team, but they're just baiting it with all the damage onto Visdom and the Rabble. They've routed them. Get the knockbacks, get the kills, pad that for ADC SMILEY so he can feel a little bit more powerful, or toucouille. And Shelly, the whole time still alive, finally falls. That is GamersOrigin finding a great dive yet again.
Yeah, and while you're looking, okay, Nite's pushing the top lane, so this might manage to even out. In the meantime, you actually had Shemek pushing the mid lane, so it's still consistently the better map play is coming from GamersOrigin. And it's really impressive. In a game that's so chaotic, you're still seeing them control the chaos. Find that way to bring it back.
Is it anarchy if you're the one in control? I'm asking this as like a philosophical question here.
Aren't you the one who studied politics? You should know better than me.
Okay, you're right. So let me give my answer then. Maybe? Okay, let's look at the replay, because that'll give a better answer.
That sounds like every political major I know.
Well, okay, enough of the politics. Let's get into what actually happened. And I gotta give credit over to GamersOrigin. This is their second dive in the bot lane. Sure, HustlinbeasT does die, but it is still a nice dive nonetheless.
Yeah, and you can see just the follow-up, consistently following through. toucouille managed to get that Scatter the Weak with a massive line through a lot of key members. And even with Hjarnan trying to flank this whole time on the side, they just can't seem to make anything happen. They can't seem to find anyone getting low enough.
Good taunt. It's going to be on a Visdom. Try to see if they can get the TP. GamersOrigin looking to pick fights left and right. Visdom is way too far away from this team. Dazzle will connect, but look who's there. toucouille to cut off his retreat. He'll die for the cause. Give the second kill to XD SMILEY. They're going to be able to push up mid all the while. Nite has not left that top lane kingdom.
The classic Yasuo. Why is my team feeding? I am off split pushing so effectively.
No, it's not a
classic Yasuo. In the meantime, my team falls.
It's not a classic Yasuo. He's not 0 and 10. Come on, man.
It's because the rest of his team is falling in the meantime. He doesn't need to be focused out. He is not the focus because GamersOrigin are still consistently finding plays. Even now, they've gotten to the point where they can actually force in and around towers so easily.
Exactly, and this is where we expect GamersOrigin to be able to play around their strengths. They know what they need. bluezor 5-0-3 on this Lee Sin. That dive there in the mid lane looked less like a dive and more just like a drive-by. They just were like, oh, free kills, you're too far out. We easily can kill you, can blow you up. This Lee Sin is so far ahead that it doesn't matter what you have on the other side. You might have that stopwatch, Hjarnan, but you're not going to be able to use it in time, and if you do, you'll die the moment you come out of stasis.
And we were saying, we praised both teams for their draft, but when it comes to execution, it has been GamersOrigin consistently on the front foot. Most of this off the back of bluezor, getting this comfort pick on the Lee Sin, showing why it's a comfort pick, just destroying so many members of GamerLegion, consistently going for these aggressive plays, these aggressive dives, and finding all the objectives.
So now I want to bring this back. I want to talk about this in the context of the European Masters, what we've seen before from these teams. GamerLegion have looked very clean up until now. This game, and this is the game with Hjarnan on Heimerdinger, keep that in mind, has looked like one of their shakier ones, going up against GamersOrigin, who are trying to bounce back from a victory against YDN, but a very shaky victory nonetheless, where it was touch and go there for a while. It was a couple bad fights in the mid game. I'm wondering, Tig, you can answer this for me. Do you think that could happen here, where GamerOrigin maybe play a little bit too greedily and give control back over to GamersLegion?
I mean, it's a mistake we've seen LFL teams who have really strong solo playing junglers. It's a mistake we've seen them make over and over again. It's how, if you look all the way back to when GamersOrigin were a really high contender in previous European Masters, when they actually had Tinks leading the charge. That was a massive issue for them, overextending. And as we talk about it, there goes toucouille.
Yeah, okay, so we've learned that Syndra might have a now play button, but so does Heimerdinger. And maybe he's going to learn that he really needs to be careful where he ventures another kill into the pockets of GamersOrigin. And we're just seeing overcommit after overcommit.
We were talking about that though, how the danger is for certain LFL teams have fallen because they've gotten over aggressive with their leads. However, this tournament so far, it has been a different story. A lot of the junglers who start leading continue to lead, especially with the dragons being more of a snowball-oriented play. But you can see, landing the max range E there, really nicely done. You have the 3 turrets there all shooting that one laser beam. If you're wondering why it did so much damage at the end, that was actually 3 laser beams all at once, on top of the full ult W to the face.
That's Heimerdinger. That's what Heimerdinger can do. But they need to make sure...
For anyone who's unaware, by the way, because you don't see him that often.
Yeah, but the one thing I want to bring that back into... Unfortunately, Hjarnan got caught out just a minute... Not even a minute, like 30 seconds later. So getting that kill is great. You blew up toucouille, but there's nothing GamerLegion were able to get off the back of that, and then they gave over another kill to GamersOrigin, which has allowed them to be able to set up this control back around the Infernal Dragon, trying to make sure they can completely smother any semblance of a fight that could be
Hjarnan.
Taken back by GamersLegion. Hjarnan could be able to join the fight. It's a little bit too late, though, and he's the one flanking. Heimerdinger doesn't flank, my dude. I don't know if this is going to work out the way you want it to.
You say that.
Grenade will be able to get the stun on to toucouille, but it's going to be the knockback coming in. The dragon is secured, but it's only going to be temporary. bluezor trying to get onto Hjarnan. Good use of the ult. We'll get the shutdown for Hjarnan. Give the gold over to Heimerdinger. They're going to lose phones in the fight, but with them locked in the pit, they're going to have to flash over the wall. It is going to be the dragon and 1 kill traded for only 1. GamerLegion actually will be very happy with that.
Yeah, 1 for 1, but a massive shutdown from Lee Sin going over to the Heimerdinger King himself. Hjarnan picks up another, and now they're looking for a play once more.
Ooh, the knock-up. They're looking to see if they can pick up the kill, and they shut down XD SMILEY. The flash from HustlinbeasT to be able to escape, get the knockback, and another kill on Hjarnan. It was a rough early game, but this is looking like the life we expected out of the Heimerdinger god himself.
And now you just give them that slight opening. GamerLegion find it. You get shutdown after shutdown. Huge gold swing now, looking back towards it. It's not even 2k in it anymore. So let's watch this fight start. You were looking at it going, Heimer shouldn't be able to flank, but he can if he lands a perfect ult grenade across onto toucouille, cutting out the Syndra, and now they're all split up. Hjarnan's actually able to almost solo out bluezor, until Rabble comes in, secures that for them. Yes, you end up with 1 going down because Phones decides to distract the rest of them, and they're forced to flash out the back of the pit, but considering where they were, that's such a massive win, and they see the re-engage opportunity off it, because you get the flash forward with the engage from Nite to take out that Kai'Sa as well, and a good wind wall cuts off toucouille, potentially making any turnaround play.
With these kills, more gold into the pockets of GamerLegion. They are still 1,000 gold behind, but I'll take those victories. I'll always say that those are going to be able to help us get around this mid-game when they want to be able to fight. You have a very good skirmish comp with Irelia, Yasuo, Taric, all can make use of that permafrost passive from Rabble to be able to lock down some of these crucial targets such as toucouille or XD SMILEY. And this is where I'm going to see what GamersOrigin can do to bounce back. You always got to look back and forth, game of tug-of-war. Where can GamersOrigin fix those mistakes that happened in order to win this next fight?
They have a lot of engage opportunities with the Galio, with the Ornn, with the Lee Sin. They can still make that happen, and you can follow up on that great with any of those on top of Syndra's Scatter the Weak. Huge amount of burst damage onto single targets if they can find them. On the other side, though, you have Taric to counter that. You want these longer form fights where you can get the consistent damage down. Yes, Kai'Sa can match that, but with so many on your side, you should be able to just about win it.
Bones does not have TP. GamersOrigin thought that they could start up the Baron, but they're not very quick at taking it just yet. XD SMILEY can do a lot of damage, but not fast enough. Not like a Heimerdinger, if he is allowed to have any alone time with that Baron, which is why GamersOrigin have to be so careful. They don't have Shemek in this fight. They are still around the Baron, but once Bone shows in the spot lane, I wonder if they turn their attention back onto the objective.
They already seem to be now looking for potential engages in the mid lane. Now it's going to be Ornn versus Irelia down the bot lane.
As expected, though,
jumped on.
Looking for the pick onto Hjarnan. No way to get out of that shutdown. Over to HustlinbeasT. Cosmic Radiance, too little, too late to actually help the team. Rabble just trying to see if they can hold on to the turret, but that was not the real prize. They got the kill on the Heimerdinger, and now they want the Baron.
Looks like Shemek's going to stay in the bot lane for now, has the TP if a major contest comes through, but honestly, GamersOrigin in a 4v4 with no Hjarnan, could even find more picks if they want to.
Rabble's caught away from the team. I wonder if they want to go for this pick. They are going to miss the dazzle onto bluezor, but bluezor took a little bit too much damage from Nite. Going to be able to get the exhaust, no last breath. bluezor's out. Vanguard's edge into the back line coming in from Phones as they lost Nite already. Going to be able to get the knockup. Phones is gone. 2 more kills for GamersOrigin. They are going to be able to hold strong, make sure that they never relent on this map.
A lot of tunnel vision onto bluezor there, saying, okay, if we can get rid of the Lee Sin, at least they can't turn for the Baron, but instead, not quite able to get through the healing and the shields that Lee Sin was bringing out, especially with the Galio ult coming down on top of it. As a result, they're going to be able to turn onto the Baron now with a very difficult contest. Tempting.
They don't have the skirmishers anymore. They don't have the ones that could really make use of Sejuani and her passive. They have to be so careful. This is a great defense coming in from HustlinbeasT and toucouille to make sure there's no way for Rabble to be able to get into the pick. They pick up the kill on a Rabble and continue to rout GamerLegion. Baron will be secured by the French team.
Okay, still very close though. Even with that Baron going over, you have to think these fights have been so back and forth. You can see bluezor jumps onto Nite here and it's potentially over-aggressive, but he managed to dodge out the Taric stun. This is where I start to worry because he gets knocked up, but the Scatter the Weak actually stops a Yasuo ult coming down, and bluezor is able to jump to the side, now getting the shield from his W. Galio ult also on top of that to make sure Phones can't take him out. He uses his W to continue with some more lifesteal, just about survives the onslaught.
Now 5,000 gold lead for GamersLegion. They want to be able to get this Infernal Dragon. They don't even want it to be contested by GamerLegion. Last fight didn't go so well for them around that objective, but this time they're able to secure it pretty easily since they have Baron buff. They have toucouille holding onto the side lane against Nite, so there isn't going to be the split push Yasuo. It's honestly looking difficult for GamerLegion to be able to come back in this game, find a way to really fight back, and the only way I can see it is if they can find a pick on someone like bluezor, but bluezor, he's the one hunting for these kills. Nite barely going to be able to escape from the clutches of this monstrous jungle.
Does just about match it though. And you see Ornn items now starting to be picked up on GamersOrigin, going to help them continue to scale. With their comp looking a little bit more standard as well, they're a bit more in known quantity. You can see how strong their scaling is. Syndra, extremely good as you continue forward. Extremely good in the mid game especially, but honestly late game is still worthwhile because of course you have the Scatter the Weak, which is just so huge in these big team fights.
Every time.
And XD SMILEY of course on the Kai'Sa, going to do huge amounts of damage to tanks and non-tanks alike.
Every time you see that Scatter the Weak hit someone, you always are wondering, are they going to make the call? Are they going to look for the dive? They don't need to, though. They're just waiting for these minions to be able to push in. Rabble, I don't think you want to take that fight. It doesn't matter how tanky you are against too many members that are going to be able to shred the pick onto Nite. Try to see if you can blow him up before Cosmic Radiance is going to be able to heal him up. The knockup comes in from HustlinbeasT, looking for the dive. Not going to be able to get the taunt today. Everyone is still alive. GamerLegion underneath the turret, but that Scatter the Weak is too much of a threat for them. They want to continue to fight back.
The Phones, having spent so long in a duo lane, is actually 3 levels behind Shemek, who's just pushing forward with the Baron as the Ornn, knowing he's so tanky that Irelia should not be able to deal with him.
He's really never going to be able to, even though you have Blade of the Rune King, like you mentioned. It's a little bit too much that you're behind. Without anything else to back it up, you don't have Black Cleaver working on the Negatron Cloak. It's unfortunate for Phones. You want to be able to win out in that side lane, get the split push game to be able to fight back against Ornn, but you're also 3 levels behind. For GamersLegion, the idea that they had, people to have these side lanes up where they could push, never came into effect. bluezor, the man on your screen right now, has been crucial in that, making sure there's no way that they could ever fight back. A killing spree for toucouille, all the while the base is starting to fall to tatters.
Yeah, you can see the attempt there from Nite to go for the outplay, but just not quite working again. bluezor finding pick after pick. This Lee Sin just so damn strong. Continues to pressure out GamerLegion as they're trying to look to close this one out.
With that minion starting to pour in, you can see bot lane, they're kind of just sitting there right outside, but they don't really need to worry about this. They're waiting to see if they want to go for one of these objectives. GamersOrigin aren't known for going for an over-aggressive dive unless they know for a fact that they're going to be able to win, or someone like Rabble gets himself too far out, over-committed. Easy pick that they could go for. All GamersOrigin want to do is play around these macro calls, Barons, Dragons, turrets. That is their key to how they were able to succeed in the LFL. That's their key to being the top team in this group as well.
Looking back across now, we have this dragon spawning in a minute and a half. That's going to be the focus because GamersOrigin can pick up the Infernal Soul. Massive jump in their damage. bluezor is basically already soloing people out with the Infernal Soul on top of that to add extra burst. You gotta think that Lee Sin's gonna be willing to go even more aggressive, and that's just the Lee Sin. You're ignoring how much damage you can get down on the other side as well. XD SMILEY.
XD SMILEY finds Nite. They're going to be able to get the knockup. Nite, you gotta assume that Galio is there. Always assume that the support is with the ADC.
It was well timed, though, to get the E as he's seeing him from the Fog of War, getting that knockup while Yasuo is locked into the animation. HustlinbeasT very clean on this Galio throughout this game.
Throughout this game, pretty much throughout the entire time he has played this, you can see the gold differences where it is. Props to Hjarnan for trying valiantly on this Heimerdinger to keep at least somewhat even with the toucouille, but every other lane is falling apart. They're so far behind. You have almost 2,000, you have a 2,000 gold lead between the junglers alone. bluezor is a monster on this Lee Sin, and unless there's a miracle and overcommit coming in from GamersOrigin, I don't see GamerLegion being able to take this game, mostly because GamersOrigin don't overcommit.
Waiting now for the next major objective. It's 10 seconds to that dragon. You see bluezor looking to clear out their vision, looking to make it as hard as possible for GamerLegion to even attempt to get into the pit.
And that's the thing.
For maybe a pick beforehand to make it easier.
They want to make sure that they're looking for this fight. Good talk comes in from HustlinbeasT. Cosmic Radiance, too little, too late. They already picked up the kills that they need to, looking to see if they can get onto Visdom. Good. Scatter of the Week comes in from toucouille. The flash comes in from Rabble, but they're knocked up. Double kill, triple kill for XD SMILEY. Hjarnan, the only sole survivor on his Heimerdinger, his champion that he loves. He wants to play every time, but maybe not today. It's an ace, and it's cleanly done by France.
And it looks like they're now going to run through the mid lane. They have the wave. They have the death timers. This should be the end. It should be the go button for go.
I don't see that this game is going to last too much longer. GamersOrigin will remain at the top of their group. 3-0 start here in the European Masters. They are looking like one of the teams to beat, and I don't see anybody standing a hell of a chance to be able to do that.
And taking out the Heimerdinger, that was world class, still is world class. You could see there were moments where Hjarnan looked like he could try make a play, but just cutting that out entirely with bluezor's Lee Sin.
That's the thing. Which main champ is better, Heimerdinger or Lee Sin? And we learned today it is bluezor's Lee Sin that wins. For now, we're going to toss it over to a break, and when we come back, we will dissect that game even further and talk about how GamersOrigin were able to find victory.
You've seen our name on the jerseys of amazing teams. Now, we are supporting one more. One that you don't see live on TV. But they are the best team in the world, and they are playing the toughest game. Maybe they're not performing in front of millions, but they are under the pressure of an entire planet. And they don't have fans cheering their names, but they have patients who will forever remember them. And they also need your help to win this game. Stay home like a pro.
Welcome back into European Masters. We just saw GamersOrigin, especially bluezor on that Lee Sin, have a very good showing, clinical on how to play the jungle.
Yeah, I think there's other people you can look at as having played decently, a lot of good follow-ups, specifically HustlinbeasT as well, with really solid engages.
Ooh,
but
Galio.
I mean, the Lee Sin is going to be just so distracting in that, because so many kills and plays started or ended with Lee Sin making it happen.
Though, you look at this first replay right here, HustlinbeasT was the one who first made the call. It was already after bluezor had made a play top lane, but you were already mentioning it. HustlinbeasT was someone who was right there with bluezor, constantly making sure to go in, and this gave the carries toucouille and SMILEY all they needed, all the ammunition they wanted to be able to carry this game in these mid-game team fights.
Yeah, and it's the exact same here. bluezor engaging on one side and HustlinbeasT on the other, just completely routing GamerLegion every time. And a lot of it also comes down to the sheer vision control they had at this point, using the pressure of the Lee Sin potentially picking you off to not let GamerLegion into their own jungle, to clear out any vision they do have, and just destroy them. You can see how quickly they go down.
And now this is the standings for Group A. GamersOrigin, after facing everyone in this first stage of the round robin, are 3-0, and the surprising one, BTXL, at the bottom, 0-3. So looking at the future, looking at next week, looking at this game, GamersLegion and GamersOrigin are looking like the two teams that are going to make it out of this group.
Yeah, I think the other thing to note there with you saying XL is surprising, I saw some of the UK casters noting that the UK are very happy that this is a double round robin. They will have the chance to bring it back next week, and I think they will need to, because as a seed that I know people like to meme, but one that does have a lot of expectations attached to some of those teams, they really need to start stepping it up.
Well, if they don't, then they're out. They only get one more chance, and it's one day of play that they'll have to be able to bounce back and try to see if they can make it out of the groups. With how GamersOrigin looked in this game against GamerLegion, I don't see that happening. I don't see BTXL being able to take down GamersOrigin, because they weren't even able to make a dent into GamerLegion. It was pretty much so much one-sided just with the top half of this bracket that for YDN Gamers and BTXL, they really have to go back to the drawing boards and see what they can do to bounce back. Maybe go for that Draven like Ends was able to do.
Yeah, I think that is going to be kind of a lot to look for, but realistically we have a completely different game coming up quite shortly.
Yes, exactly. And speaking of which, we might as well toss it to a break, and when we come back, we'll have more action, so don't go anywhere.